countless videos on the internet giving you natural, and then in that token, I guess, unnatural remedies to lighten your underarms. But what they're not telling you is this. If you lighten your underarms but don't address why they got darker in the first place, they will eventually get darker again. And some of these remedies that they're giving you online could make the situation worse. I'm gonna give you tips on how to lighten your underarms, but if you don't understand why your underarms got darker in the first place, you ain't gonna get good results, which I'm gonna break on down for you. Skin of color reacts to irritation by overproducing melanin, aka the dark spots or discoloration that you see. Now I know y'all like things to be binary around here, meaning either a yes or a no. But that's not always possible when it comes to skin. So this is going to require a little thinking. However, I'm going to make it as entertaining as possible. So what are some examples of irritation? I'm going to tell you about 5 of them. Number 1, friction. Now friction can be skin rubbing up against skin. It can be fabrics or other materials that you're wearing that rub up against your skin. And it could be outside factors. Like me, I like a man with a beard. However, once them beard hairs touch my delicate skin, sometimes it just starts to get a little scratchy and hot, and it's just not a really good feeling for me. Now, unfortunately, some friction cannot be avoided unless you plan on walking around here like you on The Walking Dead. However, knowing about certain materials and fabrics and other outside factors that you can avoid can help to lessen some of the hyperpigmentation. Number 2, a medical condition. Now, I'm mentioning this, but you gonna need to go ahead and talk to your doctor about this if this is you, or if you think this might be you. But some medical conditions such as PCOS, diabetes, etc. can cause a darkening of the skin, and that's something you want to talk to your doctor about, because you obviously don't want to make matters worse by going hard trying to remove the discoloration when you need to treat a medical condition first. Number 3, hair removal. Now, a lot of these videos that talk about lightening the underarms blame solely shaving on your underarm discoloration woes. However, any frequent removal of hair process can lead to discoloration. And that's because the more you remove the hair, the more chances you have to be irritated by the products. Now, this is not a cause of concern for everybody, but there is a portion of the population that might be allergic to the ingredients that are in certain hair removal solutions. Shaving creams, depilatories, wax, sugar, etc. Now, we are smart people here, so we do patch tests first before we put anything new on our skin. In the case of shaving, if you do it incorrectly, and I'm talking about if you dry shave and or use a dull blade, or if you shave against the hair growth, you can irritate your skin. Some people are allergic to nickel. That's the material that a lot of these razor blades are made out of. That could be a source of irritation as well. You can get ingrown hairs, whether you shave, you sugar, you wax, you use a depilatory cream, you run the chance of getting an ingrown hair when you remove that hair. Now, ingrown hairs happen because we have curly hair, and as the hair is growing back up, sometimes that sucker gets trapped under the skin and it curls under, it causes irritation, and it kind of bumps up. And that, my friends, can also lead to hyperpigmentation. Now, you can avoid some of this by not removing the hair as frequently. Nobody said we needed to be completely hairless, you know? For those of you who want to be hairless, another option that I would strongly suggest looking into and doing your research into, making sure you find a good person to do it in your area, is either laser hair removal or electrolysis. I get laser hair removal under my arms. I also get it in my bikini area. We talked about the bikini area in this video, so make sure you check that out. But right now, we're talking about the underarm. I'm absolutely loving it. I still have a few more sessions to go. This is not an overnight thing and can take 6 to 8 sessions, and you gotta space the sessions out, usually about 6 to 8 weeks in between, so it can take some time. Laser hair removal permanently reduces the hair growth cycle. Some people don't see any hair at all. Some people, the hair is so fine that it makes no difference whatsoever. Now, some people have gotten and really rave about electrolysis. Electrolysis is a process where they remove the hairs individually, permanently destroying the growth cells in the hair follicle. So with electrolysis, you have permanent instant hair removal. Only thing with electrolysis though, since they're taking the hairs out individually, it can take a much longer time, but folks seem to really rave about it. I've never had electrolysis done, so I can't compare the two. If you've had electrolysis done, whether you had a good experience or a bad experience, please leave your comments below. Let us know the tea. And if you would like to come on the channel to talk about it, which I would really love so that people can hear more about electrolysis, make sure you email me. My email will be in the description. All right, I just need to do a quick temperature check in here because I know there's some of you that watch videos and like, oh my God, just tell me what to do, right? But you need to get out of that mentality because you need to understand what you are doing so that you don't keep making mistakes. Now, another cause for irritation, allergies. You can be allergic to the stuff that you're putting underneath your arm. Like I mentioned before, a lot of razor blades are made out of nickel, and nickel can be a common allergy, so that could be one. You might also be allergic to the ingredients that are in your deodorant. Now, aluminum has gotten such a bad rap and so much misinformation spewed about it. There is no evidence that aluminum causes cancer, and I'll leave a link to a video where you can get more information on that. But sometimes people may be allergic to the aluminum. I wanted to point out here real quick that some people being allergic to something doesn't necessarily mean that nobody should use it. For example, a lot of people are allergic to peanuts, and those people should definitely have the proper precautions taken to keep away from peanuts. But that doesn't mean that peanuts are bad and it's something that we should ban. And you still may want to use a natural deodorant, and that's your prerogative. However, I am going to let you know that sometimes some of these natural deodorants do contain ingredients in them that can irritate the skin. Things like baking soda, fragrance. Sometimes they try to tell you natural fragrance, but natural fragrance can be just as irritating or maybe even more so than synthetic fragrance. Just because it's natural doesn't mean it's not going to harm you. Now, you need to understand sorry, I didn't mean to point at you. You need to understand that the skin underneath the arms is extremely delicate. It is not the same as the skin on your face or anywhere else on your body. Well, it is a little similar to the skin on your eyelid. So you think of, would I put this on my eyelid? Would I not put this on my eyelid? Then I'm not gonna put it underneath my arm. Always do a patch test before you put anything new underneath your arms. And also, take an inventory of the products that you are putting underneath your arms, and you may need to slowly take them out one by one and then slowly introduce them in again one by one to kind of see if you can figure out what the culprit is that may be irritating you. Fifth thing, you still with me? The fifth thing that can be causing irritation: burns, cuts, and scrapes. Now, while getting burned underneath your arms may not be a common thing, although I guess if you're using a curling iron and then you drop it and then it just sizzles underneath there, maybe that's a thing. But just so you know, burns, cuts, and scrapes can lead to irritation, that can lead to inflammation, that can lead to hyperpigmentation. Now again, if you lighten your underarms, but you don't stop what caused them to get darker in the first place, they are going to eventually get darker again. And I just want to remind you, aside from a medical condition, there's nothing wrong with discoloration. It's very hard to be all one skin tone from head to toe, as I like to remind you guys quite often in these videos. Now that you know how to prevent it, how exactly do you lighten them? I'm going to tell you. First things first, you're going to want to make sure that you're in great shape underneath there. If you have any rashes or anything that just doesn't seem right, you make sure you talk to your doctor about it. Because going down this path of putting products on something that needs to be treated by a doctor could make things worse, and I don't like that for you at all. Second, be gentle and be patient. This ain't no race. The last thing you want to do is to go too hard with these products and be all rough and whatnot, and then bring yourself back to square one, or even worse than when you started out. Honestly, this is not the overnight success that a lot of people make it seem to be. Y'all, it can take weeks, sometimes months to really see a difference. And as I mentioned before, the underarm skin is very gentle, and it's in an area that is prone to a lot of friction. Remember, I told you friction can be a source of irritation that can lead to inflammation, that can lead to hyperpigmentation. Now, third, and here's where the products come into play, where a lot of you are probably like, yes, well, I'm here for this part. But, you know, if you ain't listen to the other parts and you just jump to this part, you're gonna be playing yourself, but that's on you. So you want to do gentle exfoliation a few times a week. I would say use something like Neutrogena Acne Face or Body Wash, or something like the CeraVe Salicylic Acid Cleanser. Again, the underarm skin is very delicate. You probably don't want to put like your leave-on products like your Paula's Choice BHA solution underneath your arms, because again, You put something underneath your underarms. You know how your underarms are. Like, that's like putting something under occlusion, so it kind of intensifies things. And then you're walking around all day, shooting hoops, dabbing, whatever y'all be doing. It can make the situation worse. So using something like a cleanser that you can reap the benefits of the active ingredient while it's on your skin for a little bit, but you rinse it off so it's not going to further irritate you throughout the day. And then in some cases, you may want to use a lotion or cream that is going to help to protect and strengthen your skin's barrier. Doing that helps with things like dryness that can also help to contribute to irritation. Now, I'll link some additional products and more information below, but one product that I like is the La Roche-Posay Lipicard Balm. Now, it can be a little awkward incorporating a lotion or a cream underneath your arms, so you kind of might have to play around with it to see how you can fit it in your lifestyle. Like, maybe try putting the lotion or the cream on first, giving that time to set in, and then maybe putting your deodorant on after, or maybe you just do it at night. Like, you kind of, it can be a little awkward, but you'll figure it out and see what works best with your lifestyle. I usually only put balms or lotions underneath my arms after I've done hair removal, which for me right now with the laser hair underneath my arms is every 6 to 8 weeks. Sometimes I'll put like a little balm underneath there after I've gotten the laser treatment to help, you know, make sure my skin doesn't get all crazy and irritated and whatnot. Following what I just said, over time you'll see a more even tone underarm area. Also, don't rule out seeing a Skin of Color Pro, a well-vetted Skin of Color Pro with receipts that they know what they're doing, to help you with your underarm discoloration. They may be able to help you with pro treatments and or prescription creams, depending on what your situation is. Got your underarms looking all good, but then you're like, but Danielle, what about the other areas of discoloration on my body? And that's where this next video comes into play.